You guys, before we start, do you think I can get some water? I'm gonna get really thirsty. Oh, are you kidding me? No way. Hey everybody, my name's Lisa Pond. I am the Director of Guest Services and Sustainability for BottleRock, Napa Valley, and La Onda. I've been working for BottleRock for 13 years. Lucky 13. All right, so I'm supposed to shake this baby and get some questions out of it. Okay, whew. That was a workout and I'm all red. Okay, let's see. What do we got here? What's your you wouldn't believe it if I told you story from guest services? Oh boy. You wouldn't believe that a gentleman walked in through the gates or tried to walk in through the gates with a baby. I know that doesn't sound very strange. But the baby had a blanket over it. It was in a carrier. And, he looked like any young dad. And as we got closer to said baby, the baby's hat fell off and he had a straw sticking out of its head. So that was great. So turned out it just was a water bladder and not alcohol. So that was good. But you wouldn't believe it if I told you. Well, what is the craziest thing you've seen someone try to sneak in? I think the baby is still the answer. The baby always wins. We actually saw a post on social media of said baby with this man and the Napa police chief. So let's see. What is something you never thought would be part of your job that is now? The constant talking about trash talking all the time. The sustainability side really keeps me busy all year round and constantly talking about trash, diversion, and all the things that have to do with saving the planet. What's the most common lost and found item every year? Oh, there's a couple of those. Wedding rings. Believe it or not, lots of wedding rings go missing. They say that festivals are fun to meet people. Just don't think those folks should be meeting people. What's the most common thing people try to bring with them that isn't allowed at the festival? I would say plastic water bottles. We do not allow single-use plastic water bottles. So if you're coming and you're gonna get thirsty, which we all do, we want you to stay hydrated. Make sure you bring your reusable water bottle. How long does it take to clean up the festival grounds every night? Well, we have a overnight crew, so they work from 8 until 8. So they're there all night cleaning up all of the fine items, as well as the big, large items like, somebody's, plate they had for dinner or, whatever paper items. As my beautiful colleague Bethany talked about, confetti. We don't love confetti, but we do allow it on Sunday night. And the reason is, imagine all these people out there hand picking up small micro pieces of confetti. That's compostable, but it's tedious. Do you silently judge people when they don't sort their trash? I don't silently do it. I judge them heavily. No, just kidding. I do have thoughts in my mind, like, why would you put that in that bin? Clearly that is not compostable. Clearly that is a chip bag. So I try to use those moments if I see it. I try to use it as teaching moments, but sometimes that goes well and sometimes people get real offended, but big mad when I try to tell them what to do. Oh, this one's handwritten. Oh, how much do we donate and who do we donate to? So we have quite a few different ways that we donate from our festivals. We donate any food that is definitely available for consumption, still good, still available to nourish people. We donate it to local nonprofits, Boys and Girls Club, the Napa Food Bank, many other really great nonprofits. And that we do with our partners at Feeding It Forward, which is a really great nonprofit that helps get food to people who really need it. And we also donate a bunch of really great things. Like, let's say this chair was in an activation and someone's like, we just don't want to load that back up. So we actually take the chair and we will help find a home for it. So it could go to another nonprofit that might need some furniture for their, for their waiting room or for their housing, if that's what they're in. I did want to mention a really cool thing that a colleague reminded me of. we donate all of our flower arrangements that are around site. So if you're around site and you see beautiful plants and beautiful flowers, a lot of those flower arrangements don't go in the compost. They go to the women's shelter, and they bring joy to women who could use a little uplifting moment. So, which I thought was pretty cool. The really great part is, I manage the sustainability side of things, but the whole team is so heavily involved. And that little tidbit about the flowers comes from our culinary stage director who has taken upon herself to do that little piece of donation, which I thought was really cool. I do have a really cool story. I mean, it sounds a little bit bougie, but our festival is beautifully bougie. So I had a man come up to our info booth, and my team called me and said, "Hey, this man is very upset. Like he doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to talk to a manager." So I go up there and ask him, "Hey, how's it going? What's going on?" And he said, "I'm really mad because, pardon me, I'm looking for this wine, this one wine. It was called Amuse-Bouche, and it was on the website, showed that we had it. Turns out we did have it, but it was in VIP, and he was a GA guest." So I said, "Okay, like how can I figure this out for this guy? Like I can't just let this man loose in VIP, clearly." So I took him, I walked him over, helped him buy a couple glasses of wine, and on the way back I said, "It feels like maybe you need to buy a VIP ticket." So it turned into an opportunity of like an upsell, which sounds cheesy, but it really made him happy because he was able to get the wine that he really wanted. So, okay, what's the most random question you've ever been asked by a fan? Oh man, I don't know. There's like so many random things that happen. I had someone outside the gates ask me where they should hide their drugs one time. I pointed to, we have an amnesty box, so they can donate their products right to the amnesty box before they come in. That way they don't get in trouble. Told them about the amnesty box. Was like, put it in your car. I don't know, man. Like, that's beyond my reach, to be honest. What are some of the craziest things you've confiscated at the festival? Well, the baby. We've confiscated various ways to bring alcohol into the festival. I won't get too deep into what those look like, but there are many ways that you could try to get in. We are very lucky to have one of the best security teams in the nation, so nothing really gets by them. So, what is one sustainability initiative that we have at Bottle Rock that you think fans would be surprised to hear about? There are a couple, but I think probably the biggest one right now that fans don't know about is that our second stage, which is almost as big as our main stage, and our culinary stage this past year was all battery power. So there was no generators on that. There was no other machinery besides a battery powered item, which was really, really cool. And I think in the future, we are looking to go with more and more battery power because it's obviously the most sustainable. But luckily for us, we're on a state site and we have a lot of shore power. So like PG&E power, like when you plug in at your house, it's the same thing. We have about, I would say 40% or so is all shore power. So that's really a savings to the environment as far as like gas emissions and all that good stuff. So what's something people think they can't bring in, but they actually can? They can bring in a really cute fanny pack or a sling bag, however you prefer. This size is appropriate, has to have 2 pockets. I think people get very caught up in the fact that they have too many pockets, and that's where they get kind of slowed down or even have their item taken at security. So you want to make sure that you're taking in a I think it's like a 6x9, I think is the biggest size. So that is that. Who's the most eco-conscious artist you've seen at the festival? Well, we're lucky to have had some really incredible artists that are who think like us. So I would say a couple I can think of is RZA from Wu-Tang. He has a clothing brand out of all ocean recycled plastic. So that's pretty cool. Pearl Jam, they do a lot of like carbon neutral touring. Sophie Tucker, they do a lot of like reforestation, do a lot of planting of trees. So we've had a lot of really cool artists that have, eco-conscious sustainability in their mind. There are more, but those are the ones I can think of. One of my favorite stories. What's the story behind using sheep to mow our lawns? The sheep were brought in order for us to save on fuel emissions. We got a really amazing herd of sheep. You can also get goats to do the same thing. They're out there, they're grazing, but they're also pulling the roots of these weeds and the grass. So it actually helps over a long time period? No. It also helps over a period of time where the grass will grow back slower. But for our needs, we use them in parking lots that we have to mow. And so with diesel or regular fuel. And so we're saving on those gas emissions. So, and they're cute. What's your favorite part of watching the gates open on day one? Well, the very first thing I can think of is just the sheer exhale. Okay, we did it. The doors are opening, and that feels really good. The second thing is the absolute insane sprinters. The people running to the main stage to get on the rail is really intense and also kind of fun to watch as we're trying to slow them down because it's not safe. Yeah, well, to make sure that everything is ready for the doors to open is really pretty much a group effort, right? It comes down to making sure all the golf carts are off-site, making sure all the vendors have been told we're opening and they're ready to serve food or we're ready to serve drinks. Making sure all the staff is Make sure all the staff is in their spots, ready to go. Think about it like Disney. When Disney opens, it's like, everyone take your places, right? Yeah, and we're communicating on the radio. Hey, we're about to open doors 5 minutes. Are we ready? And then we open those doors. Have you ever helped an artist adhere to the sustainability rules during their set? Yeah, I think one of my very favorite stories about this is working really closely with our artist relations team and talking to them through, they all have lists and like one-sheeters of what's allowed, and they pass those on to the artist and the managers and everyone involved. And one of the things we don't allow on site is red Solo cups, because red Solo cups go in the garbage. They don't recycle, they just go purely to the landfill. So they're not allowed. Well, Post Malone loves to play beer pong. So he and his team travel with lots of red Solo cups so they can set up beer pong wherever they go, which obviously is fun, and we're not trying to harsh their fun. But we also want to make sure that they're adhering. And so I worked close with the artist relations team. They worked really closely with his team, and we were able to find him a very beautiful replica of a plastic Solo cup that was metal. So he was able to still have all the fun, but still be sustainable, which was really great. It was a great win for all of us. What do you want people to remember when they're packing? So I think it was a similar, but we'll go with it. So what I really want people to remember is that definitely look at the website. Look at your social media. Our social media gals are working hard to make sure you have all the things you need. So do not bring a plastic water bottle. That includes water, Gatorade, Smart Water. None of that is allowed. You must bring in your own reusable water bottle. You can always buy one at the merch shop if you can't find one at home. But we all know you have lots at home. Also, your bags. You have to make sure your bag is the right size if it's going to be not clear. If it's going to be clear, it also has to be a certain size. But we recently made these bags, which are really fun. This is all old Bottle Rock banners. So think of the ad mat on the freeway that you see that has the lineup. Think of all the vendors you see around site. And these were their not their plastic, but their vinyl that they had up on their booths, and now they are Bottle Rock history. So you can get a part of that. So they're available at merch for purchase. What's the number one item people argue about being allowed in? A lot of times it's their nicotine vape pens and contraptions. We obviously want people to come in and be happy, but we're on a non-smoking site. So they definitely argue with us about bringing in those things. Yeah, mostly that. What's the weirdest thing people try to recycle at the festival? Well, one of the greatest things we found as we were sorting some of our trash or our recycling was a bedazzled Pez dispenser. So those are beautiful and fun, but they do not recycle. What's your pro tip for enjoying Bottle Rock? I would say wear a hat, wear sunscreen, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. We have a lot of really delicious beverages, so many beautiful cocktails and wine, and some of the best wines in the world, and you have to stay hydrated. What's one sustainable challenge you still haven't solved but you're determined to? Oh, this is such a good question. And I think a lot of my colleagues in the business, especially in the festival world, will agree that we are all looking for a really good reusable cup company. So if any of you want to start a really good company out there, this is your pro tip. Reusable cups are the future, right? You have to be able to stop using single use of any kind. And a reusable cup that can be washed and then brought back takes a lot of operation skills, but it also would save so much from materials being recycled or in the landfill. So the reusable cup is definitely a thing I think about all the time. Nightmares. Thanks for hanging out with me today, you guys. That was really fun. If you see me on site, please stop by and say hi. Remember, don't bring plastic. It makes me sad.